think that they can rob banks that was like in the 1800s, bro, you're not gonna take their money. They're just gonna call the cops, you're gonna go to jail. But this guy really believed that he could rob this bank. But instead of like going up to the counter and saying, give me the money, he just like walked into the back, started like taking the money, and people were like, what are you doing? And then they called the cops, and then the cops came and got him. When the cops asked him why he tried robbing the bank, he said that he paid 500 bucks to a wizard, and the wizard made him invisible. What? This guy actually paid someone 500 bucks, and they convinced him that they made him invisible, so he decided to go to the bank, and he thought he was invisible. Bro, what? How? What? All right, which one should we do next? There's so many different comments. Let's do June 22nd. That sounds like a really good day. It's like in the middle of the summer. It's probably just so beautiful. Let's see what weird things happen. Oh my God. Okay, so on June 22nd, this guy right here, you're never gonna guess what he did. I think I might have mentioned this in another video, but I'm gonna talk about it again because this is so weird. So this guy was just standing in the middle of the street, right? He was just standing waiting for the light to change or whatever, and the light wasn't changing. So he decided to climb up the telephone pole. Like he climbed up on the street light. He climbed over to where the light was like red, and he started banging on the light to try to make it turn green or whatever. And then nobody expected what he was gonna do next. Like people were already like, why are you banging on the light? Like you're gonna fall down. What are you doing? He heard everybody honking at him, like telling him to get down. Like, get down! What are you doing? For some reason, this guy didn't like it, so he decided to, while hanging, pull his. I'm not even. Okay, yeah, he started pooping on the cars. I'm not even kidding. I don't know if this guy like ate this on a McDonald's before he did this, but he started pooping on the cars that were below him. Like people were saying, "Get down, honk honk," and they were just getting pooped on.
Is that the girl from Stranger Things?
This guy got arrested instantly. After that, the cops came to the scene. They saw him hanging while pooping, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, this guy's gotta go to jail."
This looks
Hopefully
so
he's still in jail. That is so weird. Okay, what day should we do next? These have been really weird so far. This has been a good episode.
Let's
do this one. January 16th. I feel like weird things happen in January. It's like the new year, and people are like trying new things. They're just weird. All right, January 16th. Let's see what. Okay, so on January 16th, this guy right here. This is so weird. So this guy right here was just hanging out with his dog. He really loved his dog so much. Like his dog was his best friend. And he realized that one day his dog was gonna pass away. And he got really sad. So this guy, I don't know why he thought this was a good idea, but he decided to go to a local school, right? He went to like his local high school or something, and he went to the science teacher. He asked for the science teacher, and when he got to the science teacher, he ended up kidnapping him. He kidnapped the science teacher, took him to his house, and forced the science teacher to make his dog immortal. He literally kidnapped the science teacher and was telling him, you need to make my dog live forever. I know you're a scientist, make my dog live forever. And what? Eventually, this guy ended up getting arrested. The scientist ended up going back to the school, but like, what? Dude, you really thought a scientist? Bro, what? All right, which date should we choose next? I think we're gonna do, this kid just said March. He didn't even say what day. You were born on March? Ooh, look at this. Somebody commented and said, I'm a girl, so do September 15th. You know what? Since you're a girl and I feel bad for you, let's go September 15th. Okay, what? On September 15th, this guy right here, this guy's name was Seth Waters or whatever, and this is just weird. Okay, so on September 15th, this guy right here, right away, you can tell that this is gonna be a weird story. I mean, what type of picture is that, bro? Are you like halfway asleep? Anyway, this guy, we actually know his name. His name was Seth Waters, and this guy decided to do something so dumb. So this dude was a homeless guy, right? And he was just walking down the street like normal, and he looked on the ground and he saw a check. Now, people don't really use checks nowadays, but this is what people used to do. They used to like write down on this check and then put a bunch of numbers, and they could take it to their bank and cash it in, right? Well, this guy found a check on the ground. It was a blank check. So he thought of a genius idea to write down on the check $368 billion. He wrote his name on it, and then he went to his local bank and he was like, here, I want to cash in this $368 billion check. Now, instantly, the people at the bank were like, what the hell? Is this a joke? Like, do you actually think this is gonna work? But no, this guy ended up getting arrested for doing this because he didn't just stop when they told him no. He ended up going to another bank and another bank and another bank. He went to 4 banks in a row trying to cash this.
No termites here.
Hey, but let me tell you something.
Just peace
Stop
of
banging on my
mind.
door before I do something to you, bro. I don't know what's wrong with you, gang. All of my property banging on my door like you got a problem or something.
I ain't got a Wait, stop.
Why is you even here on my property in the first place?
fake check for $368 billion. And then the weirdest part happened. When he got to the 5th bank and they told him no, instead of just going home, or I guess he didn't have a home, instead of just leaving, he ended up having a temper tantrum. He started crying, breaking stuff at the bank, and they had to call the cops, and then he went to jail. This grown man was crying because he couldn't cash a $368 billion check. You know how much money that is, dude? Okay, this lady right here is savage, bro. Listen to this. So this lady's name is Juanita Fitzgerald, and she ended up getting arrested for not paying her rent. Now, if you don't know, like whenever you live somewhere, normally you have to pay somebody rent or you have to pay a mortgage. You have to pay for when you live. You know what I mean? You have to pay for your house. This lady decided to stop paying for, you know, where she lived. And when the cops like asked her, why aren't you paying your rent? Like, like you need to pay for your house. She said she thought she was going to die soon. That's why she stopped paying. What? That makes no sense. Let's do this one. Somebody said, I've been subscribed for a long time. Please do May 16th. That's my birthday. Okay, May 16th. Just because you've been subscribed for a long time. Let's see what weird stuff happened on May 16th. What? Okay, this guy got arrested for doing the dumbest thing. Okay, let me just explain. So on May 16th, this guy was in Chicago. Chicago's like a big, nice city, right? This guy was walking around with like a dinosaur grabber. I'll put a picture on the screen. This guy was using like a thing where you press this in and it grabs stuff. This grown man was just walking down the street with his little dinosaur grabber or whatever. I don't know. But you know what he was doing with this thing? You're never gonna guess. Instead of just using it like a normal person and like picking up trash or like, you know, messing with people, he was stealing guns off of police officers. You know how police officers have like the guns on the side of their hip or whatever? He was like going behind the officers and trying to grab their gun with this little toy dinosaur grab. What are you thinking, bro? All right, which one should we look at next? Somebody said Matt 8. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Jesus Christ, this kid spammed my comments like 1,000 times. Okay, October 30th, let's do it. Okay, so on October 30th, this guy right here, I don't know his name. He worked at Chuck E. Cheese, okay? You know what Chuck E. Cheese is? It's like an arcade where like kids and stuff, they go to play and it's just like a place where they serve pizza. He worked at Chuck E. Cheese. He was a cook. He was the one who was cooking the pizzas and stuff, which, I mean, dude, I would not want him to cook my pizza. It looks like he has pizza in his mouth. Okay, I need to chill. This guy, after work, after a long day of, you know, cooking pizzas and hanging out with kids and, you know, having fun, he realized that he wasn't making enough money from his job. Chuck E. Cheese wasn't paying him enough. So he thought of a great idea. After work, he was gonna go down to the local gas station, rob the gas station, and get a bunch of money, right? Well, there was one problem with this plan. You see, when he was at Chuck E. Cheese, when he worked there,
church pastor
his
dressed up like a homeless man to see how his community would treat him. But the way people reacted ended up bringing him to tears. At first, it may have looked a little disappointing, but this is what happened when he walked into his church and finally revealed who he really was to the
right across
congregation.
the street from the Chuck E. Cheese where he worked. Once he walked into the gas station and started like trying to take their money, they realized that his name was on his shirt and where he worked was on his shirt. He thought he successfully got away with it. He didn't realize that he literally had his name on his shirt and where he worked. They ended up catching him like 5 hours later. Oh my God, dude. Okay, what is this? Okay, this is the weirdest story I've ever heard. I'm just gonna read this. It says, Florida man with no legs was arrested after kicking his pregnant wife's ear off. This guy has no legs.
He means his
and he
dad
kicked
beats him
his
playing
wife's
soccer.
Yeah, I'm
because
done.
he
That's
plays
the
with
weirdest
him.
thing ever.
Oh.
My mommy takes pictures and videos of people.
What? No, not like that. I'm a photographer. Oh. Ew.
My